show you guys the instrument that we're going to build today, and then we're going to do a little bit of like technical talk. Slow and short. It can be fast and short. So I approach electronic music mostly from a performer's perspective. I began to really think about what it means to perform electronic music live. I began to question the idea of aliveness, the concept of presence, and the concept of control from the performer. I mean, if we see an acoustic musician, say like a virtuoso violinist on stage, every sound happens because they will it at that moment. That's why we go to see a live concert versus hearing a recording of like a perfect representation of music. Like there's life to that exact moment. They could make a mistake, or they could do something amazing. But we're all, when you go to a concert, you're all in the same room at this one moment, and this music is being created at that point in time. To sort of try to solve that problem, or a proposal I have to solve that problem of how do we make electronic music live, I think about the instrument. I think about a musical instrument, and I think about it in the perspective of a performer. You know, everybody here that has studied performance intensely, we've sat in a tiny room with a metronome at quarter equals 40, playing eighth notes on a wood block. But that engagement, that long-term practice, it develops a connection between the human body and this object, and then also the sound that happens after you engage with that object. So I think of an instrument as a platform, just a medium where you can control sound. And I also think about the distinction between an instrument versus a composition. You know, we can build an object where, okay, that is the piece. Like we can even think of that as an electronic sculpture. This is the piece, not a tool to create a piece. But I want to take one step back and create a tool that many pieces can come from. And when you hand it to different composers, when you hand it to different performers, the tool will be nuanced and transparent enough that everybody will be able to interpret it in their own way. So then, once an instrument is defined, I imagine that we would create a new practice, a new idiom, such that that new instrument will be able to create a new language. And once those basic expressions, those basic elements within that new language are defined, then we can assemble them and we can compose with them. Again, I'm always thinking about pre-composition. Like the concert we're going to play tonight, I have no idea what we're going to play, but I have proposed a platform that I think is nuanced enough that with all the creativity in this room, we can think of different ways to use this tool to organize sound into what we might call music. But with acoustic instruments, that connection between the gesture and the sound are like tightly coupled. Like wood is always going to sound like wood. Metal is always going to sound like metal. But now with electronics, the input it'll be a button, some sort of sensor, a knob, a gyroscope on your Wii controller or on your phone. Then what sound does that make? It can make any sound. So just the fact that we can explore that connection between the movement and the sound, I think that's like one of the main questions to ask in live electronic music. I'm going to show you guys the instrument that we're going to build today, and then we're going to do a little bit of like technical talk. So there is a light sensor here. There's this mini joystick here. So those are the inputs. That's how I put gesture into this sound system. Then the outputs are the speaker and this light, just to give us some visual feedback. And so I just made this nice little block diagram just so that we can conceptualize this. The light sensor here, it controls pitch. So if there's a lot of light, well, first of all, if there's maximum light, there's no sound. But as I begin to get closer and remove light from the sensor, it starts with a low sound. And as I remove more and more light, it gets high. And then vice versa. Okay. Then on the joystick, the x-axis, left and right, controls short and long sounds. So if I go all the way to the left, and then I move over a little more positive. Okay, great. Then the y-axis controls speed. So I'm pushing up, and then I'm coming back down. And then I can, since that's two axes, I can be anywhere within that grid. So I can be slow and short. I can be fast and short. I can be slow and long. Or I can be fast and long. Or I can be fast, long, and low. Or fast, long, and high. Okay, so within this instrument, the basic dimensions of sound are pitch, length of note, and speed. Okay, so those are what I've chosen to manipulate in this. So at this point, I think everybody can go into their small pad thai container and take their components out and just, you actually push your computers away, and actually you can close your computers right now. We don't need them. Just push them to the edge of the table, and then we can just lay all your parts, all the pieces out, and just and feel them and touch them, and just get a sense for what's in there. Let me talk to you about some things that you'll find. Let's talk about the inputs for now. So on the two long blue wires, that is the light sensor. Okay. And then you're going to find this little joystick. It's along this little square blue board. And by the way that I'm going to approach the sort of the engineering part of this workshop is I'm going to assume everybody has zero knowledge. And it's even better, actually, if you have zero knowledge. It's a great thing to be doing this for the first time and touching wire and connecting it to a breadboard. So we're all starting from scratch here. Okay, so we have a light sensor. Then we have this knob. Those are the two inputs. And then the outputs are this little RGB LED. You can open up your little foil pack here and pull it out.
Is there do you have to cut it open, or
is there no tab on there?
You might have to.
I can pass around. So there's the light, there's the speaker, there's a bunch of wire, there's a bunch of these little, they look like little hourglass shapes with two metal leads on the side. Those are called resistors. This white surface here that you see everything I have plugged into, it's called the breadboard. And this circuit board here is called it's called an Arduino. But in more general terms, it's actually like a microcontroller. We call it maybe a mini computer. But all the circuitry around it allows us to easily access that mini computer, that is this chip that's in the middle of the circuit board. Okay, great. So we have it all out. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of show a little diagram of what this is, how we connect it. And we don't have to plug anything in just yet, but just to get an idea of the lay of the land here. Okay, so assuming that we have no electrical engineering experience at all, I'm just going to start from big picture here about what it is to design electronics. Okay, so electrical engineering is the manipulation of electricity. Okay, so what's electricity? It is the force that causes charged particles to move, to flow. Okay, so in electricity, charged particles flow from a high voltage to a low voltage. So in any electronic system, you have a battery. When you put your battery into your TV remote control, it always tells you how to orient it. It says, okay, here's the plus side, here's the minus side. So that once the plus and minus are defined in the electronic system, all the charged particles know where to flow. We can think of it as like water, from like high up on a mountain to flowing down to the valley. So electricity always flows from plus to minus. So everything that happens in between there, that's the electrical engineer's job to sort of manipulate the flow of it going this way, then back this way, then through this little component, and then back this way. So the flow of electricity, that's what electrical engineering is. And so when electricity flows, it can interact with these different components. Let's say if it interacts with the light, with this thing called an LED, LED stands for light emitting diode. So the property of this special component is that when electricity flows through it in one direction, then it lights up. So this LED is actually 3 LEDs in one. It's a red LED, a green LED, and a blue one, all in the same package. LEDs usually just have 2 little leads. So electricity goes into one, and then it comes out the other. But now we have it so electricity goes into 3, and then comes out just one sort of drain, to continue the water analogy. So other components to control electricity flow, those little hourglass guys in the middle of the breadboard here, those are called resistors. So they slow down the flow of electricity for different electrical purposes. And specifically for the LED, they have to slow down the flow of electricity just a little bit, because if you don't put one in front of the LED burns out because the flow is too fast. So that's just common practice to put that in. Then this light sensor here, the special thing about this, I'm not pointing at you, I'm pointing at the shadow. So this light sensor right here. So it's just like a resistor, but based on the amount of light that arrives at it, the amount of resistance changes, which is amazing, actually. It's one of my favorite components. That you just you give it a shadow and you give it a little more light, the speed of the flow of electricity changes based on that external interaction. So here's the speaker, and then when you send it a pulsating electronic signal with a certain frequency that may match a pitch, then the speaker vibrates. This is the joystick, and actually in the joystick there are 2 variable resistors. Again, so this is the simple resistor. It's a fixed value of slowing down electricity, the flow of electricity. This is a resistor that sort of changes value based on the amount of light that arrives at it. Then this joystick, in one axis, there is another variable resistor. So you can change the speed of the electricity coming out of the x-axis pin, and on the y-axis there's another variable resistor. So our inputs, actually, we're just changing the speed of electricity flowing in and out. So then, back to our block diagram. Let's just have a look at that really quickly. Okay. Got it really simple here. So light sensor, x-axis, y-axis. That's this and this. And the outputs are the speaker and the RGB LED. Okay, so we haven't talked much about this middle area here. Okay, that middle area is what we call the Arduino board here. So can we all hold the Arduino board just for a moment? How many people have ever heard the word Arduino before? Cool. So about half, great. So in the middle of this Arduino board, there's this long microchip, right? It has maybe 16 legs on one side and 16 legs on the other side. That chip, that's where all the action happens. Okay, it's all about that chip. But what happens in this board, it allows us to access each of those legs of that chip. If someone just handed you this chip, you'd say, okay, what do I do with this? How do I connect a wire to that leg? How do I power it? But this board sort of is an extension of this chip, so that you can easily connect data to it, so you can program it, so you can easily power it with USB or a power plug, and also plugging a wire into it. You have these headers in the side that will allow you to directly connect to those microcontroller pins. So microcontrollers have been around, let's say, since mid-70s. Okay, for a long time, for a very long time. But what makes the Arduino special is that it allows people to use microcontrollers and to do microcontroller programming without having to be a hardcore engineer, as in you have to go through many years of engineering school, knowing how to do the low-level programming and circuitry to be able to deal with this. But the Arduino people, the Arduino inventors, they said, why don't we make an easy hardware platform and, as we'll see later, an easy software platform where we can program this thing. Okay, other details about this. So on the side, these thin black surfaces here, they're called headers. Okay, so we can plug wires into them. Right now, everybody just take any wire that you have in your kit and just plug it into any one of those headers. Just to feel what it's like to just insert it into one of those headers. So next to those headers is a little bit of text. So it'll tell you exactly which position goes with what pin in the microcontroller. So with the USB plug upwards, just like in that picture, if we look on the right side, we're going to see digital in this little white border. Then up top, you're going to see AREF, then ground, 13, 12, all the way down to 0. So those are digital pins that can be both inputs and outputs. Okay, and then on the left side, on the upper segment, you're going to see IO ref, reset, 3.3 volt, 5 volt, ground, V in, and on the lower side, you're going to see analog in, A0 through A5. Let me know if anybody is not seeing those things. Okay, great. So then we connect our inputs, our light sensor, our joystick, X and Y, into these pins, and then coming out of this system as our outputs, we go to the speaker and we go to the light. So if we look at the diagram up here, I've sort of color-coded the wires for the inputs and outputs that match the diagram here. So our inputs are white wires here. Okay, so white, let's say this one from the light sensor goes into A0 here, then the x-axis goes into A1, and then it goes into A2. Okay, fine. Then coming out of the microcontroller, you have, let's say, pin 9 here that goes to the speaker, pin 5, 6, 7 that goes to the resistors before the LED. And here we have the main power, 5 volts, and then we have like the low power. Again, remember electricity flows from high to low. So in this case, it flows from 5 volts to ground, and we can generalize that as it flows from the red place to the black place. Okay. So that's just like a quick overview of connections. Okay, great. So I want to go. Let's go step by step here. First, I want you guys to do this red wire to the 5 volts of your Arduino. And so, but make sure that your breadboard is oriented so it's horizontal, and the red line is in the top. Because down here you can see that the blue is the bottom here. So red line on top, horizontal. And if there's anything I can do to make this easier for you guys, you let me know.
The numbers on the Arduino, what is that? Is that into the?
It's 5 volts. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to do the red wires first, and then we're going to do the black wires next. So don't do anything else beyond that. Let's first of all try to do all the reds first, just to stay organized, because it's going to get weird soon. It's exactly like this. You can also copy this right here. The joystick is all the way to the left. So consistent questions with the joystick. So the joystick, if everybody could just hold that for a moment, there's 4 legs underneath the joystick. So those legs should be at the bottom. Okay.
Legs?
These little legs. The 4 pins, so that it should be like that. So I think it would be good to move on to some of the components. So take a pause in the wiring. If we put components in place, then we know where to connect the wires. So let's go to the resistors, the little hourglass-shaped guys. So the ones that are in a 3-pack, those are the ones that are in a group of 3 on the board. And then the one that's by itself is solo, and it's just beside the joystick. And it's very difficult to break any of this, so just go for it. And yeah, really, it's robust. Yeah, and then just like stick that into the far, and then just manipulate those other 3 legs to line up with the same half row as the resistors. Yeah, you can spread them out, you won't break it. Okay, it's begun. It's begun. Really close. That should go to that resistor. Okay, this is the LED. Yeah, so take the long one and push it, pull it back, or push it forward actually. Yeah. And then you can spread them a little bit so they yeah. I know, that one's hard, it's so short, right? Okay, then I'm gonna talk about the joystick in terms of this orientation always, okay? So like the joystick, if you go to 12 o'clock, it's up. If you go to 9 o'clock, it's that way. So with closed fist, let's go with the joystick to 1:30. Okay, now let's go to 9 o'clock. Who's still going? Who still has long sounds? Okay, now let's go to 12 o'clock. Now let's go to 6 o'clock. And then let a little bit of light in so we get a lower sound. And just hold it there for a second. Okay, so from 6 o'clock, let's move just slightly towards the center. And so let's do a really slow accelerando towards 12 o'clock, and increase the speed over like 10 seconds. Here we go. So start at 6 o'clock, and I'm gonna count to 10. At the end of 10, we're all the way at 12. At 5, we're exactly in the middle. Here we go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I'm going to lead you guys through something on the computer that's just very step by step. Okay, so let's all open up our Arduino programs. Okay, so when you open up the Arduino program, you should see something like this pop up, or just you have the Arduino menu up here. Great. Okay, next is you go to your emails, and I sent all of you another email that says this is your Arduino program, and download that and put it on your desktop. So in your Arduino program, just go File. Just go to File, File Open, and it should be on your desktop, and it should be where is it? Yeah, November 11th, V2 first. So you open that up, and then you should be seeing a window like this once you open it up. User config here. Yeah. Everybody on this side, is that you guys have it open there?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, so everybody's seeing it? Because I'm going to start talking about it in a kind of a specific way so you can follow along. Okay, so this is the program, the software that's running on this Arduino. It's actually running specifically on that microcontroller chip. It's in the chip. Okay, so basically this is the software here. One of the first things that you can adjust is the value of the photocell based on how much light is arriving. So let me show you an example here. Look what I can do. So you open up the window here, then on the right, there's this little thing here that says serial monitor. I click it, and what you will get is a window with numbers flowing by. So this is the number that the photocell is sending into the computer to say, okay, this is how much light I'm seeing. So, but watch the number as I begin to reduce light. And as I close it, it gets really low. So as I open it, it gets big. Okay. So right now it's seeing a value of 300 light. We'll just call that. I don't know what the units are, just light values. But the reason that some people's projects are going uncontrollably is because the light is different where you are than other people's in the room. So what you can do is when you take this home and you want to play this somewhere else, you can adjust the threshold. So what I'm going to do is I open the program, I click on serial monitor, I see the numbers, then here I estimate the max number that I see in the serial monitor. So I'm going to say 310-ish. Okay. So fine, 310. Then there's this thing called the threshold, which that's the number that when it goes below the threshold, 310 minus 10, it begins to make sound. So you can adjust the sensitivity and when it's totally off. So watch this. So I'm going to hit that arrow button to upload the program. Okay, now we see the numbers. So watch, just as soon as I go below 300, something happens. Okay. So it's really hard to sort of be very So on the surface of the photocell, you can actually watch your shadow, and as the shadow just kind of creeps on the edge, that's when it begins to So it's like super sensitive, but you can control it. Just stare at your photo sensor, and you can see that like it's like an eclipse of the moon or something, right? So as you just begin to put a little shadow on it, just a little bit less light goes on there. Okay, so what I want everybody to do is plug your Arduino into your computer, and I want everybody to just hit the serial monitor, and I'm going to go around, and the goal is I want to see numbers flowing down your screen. Yeah. So flowing numbers, that's the goal right now. Yeah, awesome. Don't you don't have to change it yet. Actually. Yeah. You click on this button here. Try again. May I try? Okay, great. So now what I want everybody to do is go to that file and change it to a number that seems like what your maximum number is. And so when you after everybody does that, they should all be silent when you're not playing it. So I see mine's like 315, 310, and then when you change that number and change your threshold to 10, hit this arrow button to upload. And then let me and Dimple know if you see any error messages. So what you can do here, this thing cycles through 10 pitches. P1 is the first pitch that it arrives to when you slightly lower the value. So I just did ratios of major triads. So for the 10 different sections of light all the way down to 0, I've divided the light range up, and in each of those ranges it plays those notes. So what you can do is you can just change those frequencies to whatever you want. So watch what I do. I'm going to do 40, 60, 5, 100, 120. I'm going to do a jump. Fine. Keep it conservative for a second. Then I'm going to do 2500. And then I'm going to do 4,000, and then I'm going to do 10,000. Okay, great. So I'm going to upload that. Okay, so let's have a listen. And you have to work really hard to just get that first note. So those don't have to be in ascending order at all. They can be in a random order. They can be the same note. I think 40 is the lowest. We can go ahead and experiment. So at this point, change your pitches. Go for it. And remember, this is in hertz. Remember, A above C is middle C is 440. Middle C is 262. And remember that when you chop the frequency in half, you go down an octave. So like 130 is C below middle C, 65 is the C below that. So go ahead and practice changing pitches. Okay, so the last thing you can change here is the maximum fastest and slowest that we can do. So I made it 500 milliseconds as the slow time. So could one of you hold this onto you? Okay, so the slowest is that 500 milliseconds, and then I go up to 40. Remember, the shorter number, the smaller number is faster because there's less time in between. I'm going to change the fastest to 100, and the slowest to 100, and the fastest to 10. So it's just going to be generally fast. Here we go. Save, upload. Okay. So that's it out the gate without even touching the joystick. So I'm going to go slow. Now I go really fast. I've never tried that before. That's awesome. That's fun. Okay, change your times. Go for it. And you could even invert the time so that when you pull back, it's fast. Okay, so now we're getting the workflow of changing the response. Yeah, the low frequencies are interesting, I think. Yeah. Yeah, let me do that for you. So I'm going to save this as something else.
Yeah, if you do yours, just pull out the black wire, yeah.
Yeah.
Now if you put it back in, now
Yeah.
It was like too much of a redundancy.
That's all right.
All right, let's start up here. So let's just pause where we are. You know, this is not the final version of our circuits and our software, but let's just show each other what we've been working on, so that we get ideas from each other. Let's start in that corner. I would love for you guys to talk about what you did. If you guys could kind of like close your laptops like halfway, just so we can see what you're doing, and go ahead and tell us what you did. This corner is very, very interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
So I programmed mine in semitones, so 440. Next one is the next semitone in between 440 and 739 hertz. And
Mine's much lower, it's like 40 up to 120 in various angles. Not very planned.
Yeah.
then
Yeah, so they're talking to each other. So the photoresistor, this one looks at that light and vice versa.
so it's like a duet, but they do it on their own because it's so bright here. Also,
So let's plug it in.
is there a mic?
Yeah.
Makes sense of that.
That's so deep. Or we can do.
Pendulum.
Why do they stop?
It seems sometimes it seems like they keep getting brighter and brighter, and then when they get too bright, it's past the threshold, right? And they turn each other off. So they kind of have a time. It's like a hourglass.
Interesting. Great. Okay, let's keep going over here. What are you guys working on?
I don't know.
I was interested in the point, I guess, from like 9 o'clock around to 1:30 or so, where you're getting these kind of little clicks and pops. It'd be nice to like be able to layer them at different speeds and
You can do that with multiple people.
right. So I guess when I was thinking working with multiple people, that's something I was interested in, is getting people at different speeds and seeing find a place to maybe slowly get from here to here. That and the other thing I was really interested in, but I seem to do it, but I seem to keep breaking it every time. It's like finding a way to get the low pitch and use your. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I ripped the wires out and tore the speaker already, so I don't know if that's
Can you?
what you want to do.
Awesome. Can you hold the mic for her so
Yeah.
she can play? Let's go. Can you go over?
So I was interested
Thank you.
in the highs and the lows and the contrast. So I picked all highs and all lows for my pitches. And then I wanted everything to be fast and really fast. To use, this is like the basis. And then to do stuff that like interrupts this. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so intense. Yeah, great. All right, let's keep going.
I was interested similarly, oddly enough, I don't think we talked about this, but with like having some sort of like intense high when you're like covering it, and some sort of like low tone set that was somewhat discontinuous in nature, so I couldn't like necessarily go in the direction I wanted. And I also found that this bag from the LED was a nice, like, more subtle way of controlling the light. So. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure. I was interested in a certain scale with and transit to the very low frequency noise. It's like one minute you are singing and another minute the heartbeat skip to the second.
Cool. Can we watch that again? Yeah, great.
We use like the overtones series, and then I tune my instrument perfect fifth above hers. And we also switch the
I'll hold it.
scale, so it's
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry, the shadowing. Okay, go ahead. you're joysticking and you're light sensoring. Awesome. Great, amazing. Amazing, yeah. Okay, let's press. Okay, so what's going on over here? Yeah, what'd you guys do?
So basically, all of our pitches, all of our frequencies are super close to each other, just off like by either a few integers or like a decimal point. And we were just sort of trying to play around with that interference between like similar but not quite exactly the same frequencies.
Okay.
And then also I was interested in the clicks as a contrast, but also.
Yeah. So we all just saw very different uses of the same platform. So we can see it's just about this having sort of a palette that you can make decisions with. We all chose to do different things, and we all have the capacities to do everything that everybody else did. But it's just about choosing, making a choice about what you want to do. There's a lot of use of like velocity. There's a lot of use of speed and like dense sounds, but also we can use rests and silence in between these things, right? And also we can do slow music. So let's keep developing what we're doing. This is all amazing, and then so we can just refine and learn from what we all just saw. And I think we're on track to be able to present like. So how many duos were there? There were like 3 duos, 4 duos. 4 solos, and I think you wanted to get some people together for clicking phasing. Okay, so let's keep playing. It's amazing. Then I'm gonna set an order. Then that's what we'll do at 6. Okay, awesome. Mind blowing. Thank you.